Let's continue on here with our strategy of going down these different roads, looking around. That one goes up too high. As you can see, it's fairly steep here. I'm trying not to do too much because the last thing I want is a search party to come out. So my wife said before I left the house, she says, just take it easy. I don't want the RCMP to come and tell me anything. And I responded by saying, likewise. The last thing I want to do is get hurt up here. Or anywhere else for that matter. As you can see, this is not called the Rocky Mountains for no reason. There's lots of rocks. I was reading the newspaper this morning, and I was reading this article in the Calgary Sun by a Lilly, and it was a really interesting article. And he was saying that if the vast majority of people in the U.S. would want to trade their president, Obama, for our premier, Harper, and the vast majority of people, he figures the vast majority in Canada would go along with that. They'd be happy to trade. Well, I certainly wouldn't. In Canada, we have a trained economist as a leader. So I presume that he's got an idea what's happening in the world. Just like I presume that the guy in the U.S. doesn't have an idea what's going on in the world. He makes pretty silly comments sometimes. Anyway, Harper said last Thursday in an interview with the same Lilly, he said that if the U.S. figured their inflation rate, or their unemployment rate, the same as Canada figured their unemployment rate, their inflation would be double digit. Not inflation, what am I doing? I'm talking about unemployment. Their unemployment would be double digit, which would be horrendous for them to know. It's not that they don't have it, it's just they don't want to, the government doesn't want them to know that. Which is kind of strange. And Mr. Harper, he makes a lot of sense. Well, the one thing I don't understand is what he's doing in Afghanistan. What's our business over there? None. I mean, the U.S. can figure they're the policemen of the world, but what the hell are we doing there? Getting our young people killed for no reason? That's what it looks like. And spending lots of money doing it. You wonder if the military-industrial complex hasn't taken over up here too. But we don't. The Bank of Canada is a government institution, unlike the U.S. Fed. So, but they're still setting the rates artificially low. It's 1%, but it's still artificially low. And they say the official reason for doing that is that they want to keep our dollar low because our main trading partner is the U.S. And because the U.S. sets their rates to artificially low rate, I think it's like 0.5% down there, that we want to destroy our dollar along with theirs? Is that the thinking that I'm getting? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Even with that, our dollar has still gained a huge amount against it, and now it's stronger than their dollar. Which tells you that the 1% thing isn't working. And we should go back to being normal. Mind you, if we were normal, then we might have a huge difference. And we wouldn't be able, well, we'd still sell our stuff because it's not the US that wants our stuff. I mean, they want our stuff, but they want it for nothing. And they get it for nothing because they pay for it in US dollars, which is worth nothing. So really, what would it matter if our dollar was $1.50 US? That'd still mean it was $1.50 worth more than nothing. Thinking, but you know, we still sell gas and oil to the rest of the world. We still sell steel, copper to the rest of the world. Except the rest of the world isn't able to afford it because all the major banks are busy driving their dollars into the ground too. It's kind of a catch-22. It's a beggar thy neighbor policy. That's what I read. I didn't come up with that statement. A beggar thy neighbor policy. So they can, all the banks are trying to keep their dollar lower. I think it started with the Japanese. The Japanese managed to do it for many years with their 0% interest rates. But the only reason they managed to do that was because you could borrow money for nothing in Japan and invest it in US securities, keeping the US dollar up, and they'd make like 6%. But nowadays, they can't do that anymore because there's nowhere in the world where they can make 6%. Well, there is a few countries, but they're small. They can't really invest too much in them because, well, banks like Norway, they just stop it. They just won't let them do it. Norway's got a decent percentage rate, but I don't know why the rest of the world can't pile in. Can you imagine if the rest of the world tried to pile into tiny little Norway into their currency? Their currency would explode. I think that's why they won't let it happen. High finance, eh? It's pretty hard to understand. It's easy to understand they're destroying it. I don't know, easy to understand how to fix it. Well, actually, if they went back to Paul Volcker's policy, he brought the interest rates up to 18%. And that brought the value of the US dollar way up. But there's no Volcker on the horizon. There's nobody with the ability or the will to do that kind of stuff. Look at these tall trees. They haven't really logged in here. Although the road must lead to somewhere that has been logged. And it's low, so you can hunt down here. Here it's getting a little open in places. No, it's not. The Rockies. Here we are in the Rockies. Keep out. Loose, sharp rock. Quarry. It's a quarry down, rock quarry. Alright, I don't need to go down a rock quarry. I know what rocks look like. I don't need to go down there. I know I need to go the other way. Rock quarry. Wonderful rock quarries. You know, places like Calgary, they buy rocks. You wouldn't think just rocks have value, but they do. But only when the economy does so good that people can have so much money that they need to go and buy rocks to put around their house, to beautify their house. You know, not only do you want to have a nice house, but you want to have rocks around it, which they don't have in Calgary because they got soil that grows stuff, unlike here. So, places like Calgary want to have soil that doesn't grow stuff by putting rocks over it because you don't want to cut the grass. Why would you want to grow vegetables? Oh, well, times are changing. I like to grow vegetables, but I live around here. And around here, it's hard to grow vegetables because you either got rock or clay. You have to work at making soil good enough to grow stuff. But whoever said this world makes sense? Everybody's got different ideas about what to do. And city people like the idea of living in the country as long as it's in the city. And they like the idea of having lots of ground as long as they got rock covering it so they don't get stuff growing on it that they have to cut. Because city people don't want animals on their property because animals require upkeep. And they can't be mobile if they do that. Now you look at that and you think, what in the world is happening there? But there's birds in those holes. They make nests there. You would think that birds would be so smart that they would make round holes in the ground to nest in, where the coyotes, the bobcats, the ferrets, the weasels, let's go up this road, and all the other little carnivores would get at their eggs and their babies. But no, birds have got to be so stupid that they'll actually make nests accessible to the little predators. Alright, so now we don't go up there, we'll go up here. There's lots of roads up here. And lots, it's way open. I don't like moving in this kind of stuff because it's way open, but it's good for concealment at the same time. And the whole thing about it is that I have been up here for an hour riding around, and I haven't seen one other hunter. Not one. Why is that? I bet you everybody figures it's too close to town. Too close to town. And everybody will come up here. So that's the only thing I think it could be. I want to see a spike. Oh, there's a hunter. Oh no, he's a woodcutter. I bet he's got his rifle with him though. Gotta get some firewood for the winter. He's got a lot there. He's got enough for a month or two. Well, depending on his heater, I suppose. I used to burn wood myself. And it's a wonderful way to live. It's wonderful heat. Now that goes where I want to go. I get off that dusty road. Go somewhere where the air is fresh and the ground is green. And then lots of girls. No girls. Look at that. Nice area. I could walk up here and you just come around a corner. Nice thing about these areas is that the elk can't see you either. You can come up here and you can hunt And the elk can't see you, and you can't see the elk, and that's the end of this trail. Look at that, they made it so you can't go up here. Wonder why. Huh, well, I see lots of quads going around there. It's not real. You can't go around there. I can go around there with my pickup truck. Ah, this is beautiful up here. I'm a lucky man to live in this country. The guys come up here and they take their holidays 1 week a year, come up here hunting in this area, and I live in this area. I can say, honey, don't wait up for me. I'm gonna go out for a ride. She said, well, okay. I'll say, I might be home around 6. Okay, don't worry. You can get a dinner when you get here. Alright. My wife is a good wife. I'm a lucky man. Well, I guess I'll go up here. Because that way it says I can't go up there. Let's stand. Let the bike take the pounding and not me. Well, this goes up into the trees. Seems to me I've been up here before. I go up here and there should be a huge meadow over here. I think. There again, I could be wrong. Here we are on the superhighway. Are your seatbelts done up? Nope. Well, there's not a huge opening. A little bit of an opening. Oh yeah, I've been in here on a snowmobile, right. Remember this one. No, this goes over to New Lake. Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that. Squirrels coming out to attack me. Look out! Look out! Squirrels! Well, I've only seen one woodcutter so far. I bet you when I go down, there'll be tons of people coming up for the evening hunt. I don't like the evening hunt. Then you gotta work in a dark skin and it actually kind of sucks. Okay, that's the road there that goes down to New Lake. Okay, where this road goes? Yeah, it's pretty nice. Oh, jeepers. Sometimes this thing is a kind of a heavy monster in this stuff. I remember I took one of these to Mexico and I spent my time. I'm not a very good sand rider, and as some of you are aware, Mexico has lots of sand. You get into the backcountry and it's deep sand everywhere. Oh yeah, here's the big meadows I was thinking about. I can remember one sand wash, I fell down 5 times in a row. Man, I was exhausted. I thought after that, picking one of these things up, KLR 650 is a heavy bike when you got to do that all the time. 5 times in a row, I was thinking I want to buy a DR 400, but this thing is so comfortable that I just couldn't do it. The DR is a lot lighter bike, but it's not near as comfortable as this thing. Look at that, eh? I gotta go get a GPS and figure out the height of this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go over and buy it because it would be a very nice thing to have with this new rule. Below 1100 feet you can hunt, above you can't. Yeah, this is where I was thinking it was. Man, oh man, this is so good. This is so good. Yeah, it should go around there and go over there. If it does that, I'm in the right spot. It goes down. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Yeah, the sun's still high in the sky. It's still early. Must be about 5 o'clock. So, yep, this is where I was thinking it was. Down there should be an old cabin, which I will take a picture of, just because. Show my neighbor this is where ask my neighbor if that's what the cabin he thinks it was. Because if it is, then he told me some really neat information. Look at this meadow. Grass like you wouldn't believe. Animals are in here, you bet. You bet. And look at the distance you can see. The grass is all dead already, huh? Of course, I'd never see an elk with this machine because I got a super trap on this whole thing. And it barks. I took it off and put the stock buffer on once. And just after I did that, I was riding down the road on the 2-lane highway. And this car cut me off because they didn't hear me. They didn't look over and see me because I was right beside them. And they just pulled over into my lane. I had to blast my horn to let them know I was there. And I went home and put my super trap back on because that never happens with that thing on. Yep, this is where I think it is. Everything looks good. I can't believe it. There can't be a thing up there. There can't be. He says there's a creek or a lake up there. There's no place for it. The cabin should be right down here. I think I'll stop right here. Where is that old cabin? Down there. There is the cabin down there. So, if that is the cabin, I think I'll put this in the movie mode. I'll take a little movie in. That'll give him an idea. There. And there's the cabin. I'll zoom in on it a little bit. And out. And then I'll go up here. And I'll say, it's it up here. I wouldn't have thought that was up there. But if he's been up there, he knows. That'd be something that would be worthwhile thinking about. Oh yes.